Traders, welcome back to the channel. It's absolutely fantastic to have you. And we're going to be talking about AMC specifically in this video. I'm going to just kind of do a rundown of all the news that has surrounded the stock this week. I want to dispel some of the rumors going on that the SEC is taking off for the day and the hedge funds are just attacking us. Because honestly, the week's been absolutely incredible from a price action standpoint, and you're holding very key levels. So let's not waste any more time. Like, subscribe, do what you got to do. Let's get to it. Okay, so in the video, I'm not going to spend too much time on charts. I will have another video coming out later going directly over the charts, and it will be just that alone. But I want to go on talking about what's going on specifically with the SEC and things like that. Now, there's a lot of stuff being just displayed all over the internet, Reddit, Twitter, even YouTube. I think people are talking about it here as well, saying that the SEC, they declared Juneteenth and then today a national holiday, so SEC and some other institutions now have off, but it's still a trading day, and so they kind of paired that, as retail did as well, to say that this was going to be a heavily attacked day. Now, is it possible that, this was a manipulated attack day? Anything is possible, but to play this game and have the rhetoric and think to ourselves, anytime the stock somewhat pulls back, it's a bad day. Now, if we push below $40 and $20 drop, I would have said, man, there's a high possibility. But when you're looking at what's happening with the stock, there's little to no volume. Yes, we got to push to 65. It was depressing to see us come back down. However, we had an absolutely stellar week. I mean, stop whining. Honestly, you have to stop the whining. You're getting another hold at this $59, $60 range. If you look from the past 3 weeks, I believe we closed 2 weeks ago at 42. Last week, 47. This week, 59. I mean, the numbers are just getting higher and higher. And if you're owning just stock, then you should be sitting in a very happy place right now. Now, I know you're saying, Tyler, you don't really play the stocks too much. Yes, I have about 750 shares. However, I spend most of my time trading the options, at least on the swing side of things here. Now, yes, sometimes you're not going to hit all those wins. I'm going to admit. Right now, my option I have is out of the money. I'm not looking too sharp on it. I'm down about 20, 25% on it. However, right now, I knew the risk associated, but I also knew the reward. So I'm not, going crazy, and I didn't over leverage my account, something that I actively am trying to impress inside you guys' brains. Because if you start to over leverage, there's a high possibility you'll lose all your money. But let's not talk about that right now, although it's important to not over leverage and go full send on every single trade. But I want to reiterate back to the options theory. If you're trading options actively and you're getting upset that this trade didn't work out, even though we had a really nice push on the week, there's a lot of things you have to take into account as far as implied volatility, theta, there's the actual decay on the stock and things like that. There's a lot of variables. So if you're not familiar with options, it can be a very dangerous stock to trade on the options market. However, there is a lot of upside, and there's a lot of people on the channel that have made life-changing money on AMC. And I have no doubt in my mind there will be another opportunity. I'm still sitting in my options right now. I do have about 2 weeks left on them, so I'm kind of not that stressed out. However, we need to talk, because I do think things could get pretty wild in the upcoming week. Now, I don't know if all those options were accounted for as far as being pushed onto the market with those shares, because yes, we had about 411,000 expire in the money, and then almost 700,000 expire out of the money on the put side, so that was pretty good as well. I do believe we had to push down to $60 probably to get some of those options in the money. However, a majority of them obviously aren't there in the money. Going into next week, we could possibly, I'm going to say possibly, see a pretty large influx of volume storming the market to begin the week going into Wednesday, but I would keep my head on a swivel to some type of minor pullback. Now, I had this at $52. We bounced very strongly there, but where we're at now, it's kind of uncharted territory. We haven't really held this long and this strong at $56 to $60. This is a new area for us, and depending on how long we can hold in this range will really matter if we can make this a support, which I'll go over more in the next video. But I want to reiterate that as well. So if you're sitting in shares, honestly, you should be the happiest you've ever been, because you're trending at really local highs. Now, if you're in the options, yes, you need to wait probably for IV to come down a little bit. Although I still like where you're at with the IV on AMC. I believe you have some volatility there, but I don't believe the implied volatility is represented to where it is at this moment. I do believe you're kind of getting a good bang for your buck on options right now. However, if you're not in any options right now, it's going to be rough buying them Monday morning. Typically on Mondays, we see pretty green Mondays. However, things could possibly change this week because we saw a really different type of trading week on AMC. Wednesday was really rough for us, which Wednesday's typically the breakout day for our gamma squeeze days. And I do think that that was some sort of manipulation there, but I don't want to speak too heavily on that because I have no evidence to prove that. So that's just all hearsay. We like to focus on the facts here on this channel. So wrapping up this juicy week that we just had, I want to see a nice opening going into Monday. However, I did mention like Monday could, be a coin toss of a day. I still have those options. I'm still very optimistic going into next week as well. But I want to say that Monday through Wednesday could be very interesting. That's going to be the key thing to know about those options we just talked about as well. And then if we start to push back to that $70, $74 range, I'm telling you, I do not think we double top in that range just based on how the chart is moving now. We went over the key flag that we mentioned in our previous video, and I'll go over again in the charting video as well. But all in all, it's looking very strong, and I'm extremely optimistic about this week coming up. So that's my personal opinion. And then if you have stock when it comes to AMC, I would not even be worrying at all. I would not be sweating. I love the absolute bullish movement that you're getting here. And over the next 2 weeks, I think you'll get the confirmation that you may need when it comes to holding those shares as well. As always, not financial advice. Do your own DD. This is just my 2 cents. But that's going to wrap the video up. Hope you got something out of this. Like, subscribe, do what you got to do. We'll be back later. Namaste.